This is Leslie Hoban Blake of the Drama Desk and co-host of Two on the Aisle. And I'm talking with my old friend David Lefkowitz on Dave's Gone By on UNC Radio.
Here on the annual Total Theater Tony Show, we have a visiting old friend of the program. She is a director, she is a theater critic, hasn't really been a choreographer, but she's going to be weighing in on the choreography category of this year's Tony Awards. We're talking about Leslie Hoban Blake. She is the first historian of the Drama Desk. She is also co-host of the bi-weekly program Two on the Aisle, and she is a former Callaway Committee member for the stage directors and choreographers. So, yeah, a lot of history there and a lot to tell us about choreography. Welcome back to the neighborhood, Leslie Hoban Blake.
Thanks so much, David. So lovely to chat with you. It's not a bi-weekly show, honey. It's a bi-monthly show.
Oh, sorry, yeah. That's right. Bi-weekly, bi-monthly, semi-weekly, semi-month. I can never get...
I never get that right myself, but two a week would be a little bit too much.
Yeah.
It really would.
Well, I do want to ask you about choreography because you've been a director for many years, but you've had very little actual choreography experience, yeah?
Only show I ever choreographed was The King and I, and it's not specifically a dance show. There's a lot of very specific movement, but it isn't a dance show per se. Because you have to be a dancer in order to choreograph. You have to be able to show your dancers what you want them to do.
But you can recognize good or exciting or innovative dance.
Oh, God, yes. I've worked with so many wonderful choreographers in my time. I also was on the Callaway Committee where we judged choreography as well. So I've got a lot of experience with that.
Well, let me ask your thoughts about this year's nominees, and they are Christopher Gattelli for My Fair Lady or SpongeBob SquarePants. You've got Stephen Hoggett for Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, Casey Nicholaw for Mean Girls, and Justin Peck for the revival of Carousel. Leslie Hoban Blake, what are your thoughts?
First of all, I gave Stephen Hoggett his very first award from the stage directors and choreographers. When I say I gave it, I presented it. I was one of the voters, but I was also the presenter for his very first Broadway attempt, which was Once. But Stephen Hoggett has a very specific style, and we got to know him during the time that he did the Black Watch out at St. Anne's Warehouse. That's how he came to our knowledge. And he's worked incessantly since then. He's always working. But there's no choreography in a non-musical. There's movement. Harry Potter, as nice as it is not a musical. It's a stage play in two parts, in 2 evenings or 2 afternoons or whatever. I don't know why he's in this category.
As you said, there's movement. I guess you could say that it's choreographed stuff that goes beyond what a director would
No, David, wait a second.
Okay.
As a director, we all do movement. We move our people from side to side and up and down and back and forth and let's go here and whatnot. That's movement. I mean, it's some very interesting cape swings. And you saw the play, right?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Do you think that that's choreography?
Well, when they take the suitcases and they bring them back and all that in the very beginning.
That's staging. That's staging. That's not choreography specifically. It's staging. I don't like him in this category.
Okay, fair enough. But whom do you like in this category?
Well, I like all the other people in the category. There's no question. I think Chris Gattelli for getting both shows, I think that's pretty wonderful. Of the two, it's so interesting because SpongeBob SquarePants is not so much a play as it's an experience. You go in and the whole show moves and the side of the theater moves and there's nothing there. I mean, there's no play to speak of, but boy, is there movement and dance and noise and carrying on, and you have a good time. So I think he did a wonderful job on SpongeBob SquarePants, but My Fair Lady is without doubt just an extraordinary experience. Oh. And Bart Sher's direction of this play has made it a wedding cake. It shimmers and it's beautiful and it moves fantastically. I would rather he get it for My Fair Lady than for SpongeBob.
But both times you were talking as much about the direction as the choreography on both of those, aren't you?
Well, that's why we're stage directors and choreographers in my guild. You work so closely together that the director will have an idea and the choreographer will carry it out. The choreographer will have an idea and bring it to the director and it'll be used. It's like having one body with two heads. It's the only way you can really work on a musical because you have to be so in sync in order to be able to do it. So, no, they are separate.
If you were voting for the Tonys, whom in this category would you vote for?
Well, All right, let me finish the category,
Sure,
okay?
sure.
And then, because Casey Nicola not only choreographed it, but he directed it. Casey Nicola's a genius.
For Mean Girls.
Both. A lot of choreographers are coming into directing at this point. They're saying, hey, you know what, I can do that too. And they're right, because Casey has done it. I'm almost wanting to see Casey Nicola get it, as much as I loved My Fair Lady and thought it was by far the best musical. As far as the amount of dance that's in the show, pure dance, I would think that it's Casey Nicola. You can get down to Justin Peck and Carousel. It beautifully moves. It got a lot of lovely stuff in it, but I didn't like Carousel. I didn't like the whole experience. It was dark. It was slow. I would rather have closed my eyes and been at a concert than this particular version of Carousel. They went back to what they said was the 1945 concept for scenery and whatnot, but in 1945 you had Agnes de Mille's choreography, which made that show. You can see it in the movie still. And I missed Agnes de Mille's choreography. Justin Peck did some very lovely ballet, but the choreography did not move the show, to me.
Well, whom do you think will win?
I think Casey Nicola will win for Mean Girls. I would like Chris Gattelli to win for My Fair Lady, but I think Casey Nicola is going to win for Mean Girls.
You think the voters will split? Some will give him for Fair Lady, some will give him for SpongeBob, and because he's nominated for two different shows, that'll split the vote and it'll go to Nicola?
Yes, I couldn't have said it better myself. Yes, I definitely feel that way. But I think there are some crazy nominations this year.
Like? I think The Band's Visit has a couple of them.
As Tony Shalhoub for Best Actor in a Musical. And that's actually a very true... As Best Actor, he is an actor in a musical, but he's not singing. Same thing goes for Diana Rigg in My Fair Lady, who does not have... I just don't see her beating out some of the other ladies in the category who not only sing, but, dance and do everything else. Diana Rigg is brought out as a kind of a one-trick pony, and I love her. And I'm delighted to see her still working, but I don't think that she's going to win that category. I can't see that happening.
Now, let's talk just very briefly about your very favorite show of the whole season, be it on, off, or off Broadway. What did you love?
Well, that's easy. The Band's Visit.
Ah.
The Band's Visit lifted my heart. I loved it off-Broadway. I love it on Broadway. I fight with people about this show because they're sort of like, but The Band's Visit is something so magical and so special, and for it to be on Broadway at all, and for it to have lasted at least this long is just a testament to word of mouth,
I'm with you on that. I love the show, so yeah.
I just think it's so phenomenal, and so to me that's the little engine that could, and I really want to see them win. Now, are they going to? I doubt it, but I hope they do. I just hope they do. I feel it's such a special show.
You don't think The Band's Visit is going to win Best Musical?
It's up against...
Mean Girls?
Well, The Band's Visit, Frozen, and Mean Girls.
Oh, no, I don't think Frozen has a shot. Do you?
The people who vote on the Tonys are the producers. And then also there are some actors and a couple of critics, but not even really critics anymore. So who's really voting on this? The people who are going to be able to take the show on the road and sell it in Kankakee and Des Moines and Podunk, those are the places. They're going to be able to sell The Band's Visit on the road?
But they'll have no trouble selling a Disney show on the road anyway.
If the voters are willing to actually step outside their comfort zone and vote for what's best as opposed to what's the most popular or what's the most easy to put on a truck and take it out of town.
Well, actually, that's the thing. The Band's Visit, if you think about it, it's small, so it's easily portable.
Well, no, of course it is, but will it sell outside of New York? Will the subject matter scare people away? Will it sound too serious? Will it not be something that there's a base who might be interested in the topic outside of New York or L.A. or San Francisco or Chicago or some major city?
Well, I gotta say that if you care about theater in New York, you're gonna want to watch Leslie Hoban Blake and our mutual friend Charlie Gross when they host Two on the Aisle twice a month on Manhattan Neighborhood Network. You're also gonna want to know that Leslie is the historian of the drama desk. She's been on the board for a lot of years now, and she's kind of the keeper of the flame of the history of that organization.
Said that I was the Eleanor Roosevelt of the drama desk. I'm not sure if that was a compliment.
Well, you're a lot better looking than Eleanor Roosevelt ever was.
Very
Leslie.
much, David. You'll have to watch the show, people, if you want to find out if that's true or not.
Well, Leslie, always a pleasure to have you on this show on Dave's Gone By. I wish you a very happy season and a happy Tony time indeed. Have a good one. Thanks again.
Dear, bye.
Bye.